As a gamer, artist, and lover of cute things, Planet Zoo ticks all the boxes for me. Being able to build whatever environment is in my imagination, down to the finest little detail, and then watch adorable animals eat, sleep, and play in that environment is pretty much my gaming dream come true. When I saw that capybaras were added to the game as part of a DLC, my first thought was, oh my god, I need to make a capybara hot springs. If you've never seen images online of capybaras chilling in a hot springs, let me fix that. It's so cute. So a few years back, a video was posted showing capybaras from the Izu Shaboten Zoo in Japan just chilling in a bath with some oranges, and understandably, everyone liked that. In fact, this was the only time in the past 10 years that literally everyone on the internet agreed that the thing was cool. So anyway, I really wanted to capture those cute and cozy vibes in my own capybara habitat. So I brought out my wallet, threw it at my computer screen, and immediately got distracted by other games. For like a year. But I'm finally done procrastinating. I'm making that hot springs, and it's going to be cute enough to kill. And I figured what better way to get started than to try my hand at Planet Zoo's diorama mode. It gives you a cute little self-contained space to build in, so you don't have to plan a single exhibit around a whole empty zoo. You can just have a whole empty little block of grass instead. Work on the terrain and elevation levels went super quick, so I was able to start building a shelter for the capybaras pretty much immediately. Unfortunately, the construction process revealed some pretty major issues with the foundation. My rush job on the elevation left the ground uneven and clipping through the floorboards. Generally, when you place objects, like a habitat barrier or an enrichment item, there's a small area around that object that can't be terraformed until you remove it. And I'd already placed the wooden beams that define the structure of the shelter, and I really didn't want to replace them. This was my first shelter that I ever built, so it went kinda slow to begin with. And I forgot that wooden beams are not on the list of items that block terraforming. So, my flea brain memory forced me to get creative. It didn't feel right to increase the elevation of the whole floor. That would have forced me to make a really tall stairway leading up to the entrance of the shelter, and capybara paws are tiny. But Japanese homes traditionally have an indoor entryway called a genkan, where you're supposed to take your shoes off before stepping into the house proper. Surprisingly, this is not knowledge I gained via osmosis from watching anime. I actually studied Japanese culture when I was younger. Before my weeb phase, not the other way around. And although my genkan isn't authentic, their floors are typically tile or concrete rather than wood, it adds a really cozy feel to the shelter. And just like a real genkan, it keeps the dirt off the shelter floor. Generally, I think it's helpful in Planet Zoo to focus your builds around a few core features or themes. Originally, I wanted to do a 3-tiered main bath, with each bath at a different height and spilling into each other in little tiny waterfalls. Plus, I figured I'd scoop a little dirt out of the ground and add some tiny private baths for the shy capybaras. But it's important to sort of frame the areas you want the viewer to focus on. The problem is, if I made a feeding area and at least 4 baths, in addition to the cute little shelter I'd already slapped together, the diorama would just be a big old bucket of visual white noise. And yes, we need a dedicated feeding area. I spent $10 specifically so I could watch these giant rats eat watermelon. Money well spent, by the way. So I had to rethink my approach. Bright or contrasting colors can be great for guiding attention, and visual distractions can be covered, partially obscured, or broken up by other shapes. Plants are really good at accomplishing this. And hell, forget about flowers and bushes. Even just Japanese trees have insane charisma. Cherry blossoms are elegant and beautiful, Japanese maples are striking and bold, and the only place more dramatic than Hollywood, California is the shade underneath a willow tree. So I reworked the small bath into a shallow pond that serves as the centerpiece of a modest Japanese garden. I also felt a lot better about the feeding area being a bit further away from the bathing area. This just doesn't seem right to me. By the way, you know, like rock stacking? Like just balancing rocks on top of each other. Is that like a meditation thing? I don't know. The large baths were a pretty slow build, but I definitely got a little closer to achieving nirvana by the time I finished. Which is really good, because I was gonna need all of that spiritual power to keep building. At this point, I'd been building for hours, and I was proud of my work. I mean, look. Look at that little stone pathway. But the build still didn't feel finished, and I didn't know why. I started building this diorama because, simply put, capybaras are cute. And a hot springs is the natural choice. I mean, the Wetlands DLC the cappies were introduced in literally has a hot water tap as one of the new enrichment items. But, weirdly, I think there's kind of a deeper reason for it. Watching an animal who lives on the same planet as us, but in a totally different world, sitting under a stream of hot water, relaxing, and washing its cares away just like we do. There's something healing about that. That healing became the theme I used to finish the build. Every detail I added was added with the intention of making the build look comfortable and natural yet lived in. And watching capybaras eating, playing, swimming, soaking, it looks like they're really settling in. Thanks for watching me build their new home. If you enjoyed this video, dropping a like on it really helps me out. You could also subscribe to my channel or let me know in the comments what you'd like to see more of in future videos. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you in the next video.